All right, G-Man. I was taking a look. I think this is game one. Just taking a look through those replays. I watched the first half of this, and it seemed like I had some pretty good stuff to go over. So we're gonna hop right into it. Just a few little things that I feel like we've had conversations about, and now I have some specific examples. So I'll just do a replay of this whole one, record it, and send it to you. I hope that this audio is okay. I didn't really test it beforehand. Just hopping on quick from my office. So yeah, no, unfortunate whiff there. That whiff probably shouldn't happen, but whatever. You'll get better. Not too worried about whiffs. And a little bit of a heavy touch there. Again, I think you knew what to do there, so I'm not too worried about it. You maybe could have gone to car cam there to go for a bump, but not huge things. I'm trying to make sure you don't dilly-dally too much because I had some more specific things. This was one of the times where I think we do this a lot. I think this is a higher level thing that hopefully will really kind of blow your mind here. I want you to notice this pattern, right? Okay, so the pattern starting, you probably shouldn't have bumped him, but whatever. The pattern starting here. You know you have a teammate behind you, and then you have a teammate front post in front of you. So you are second man in this full rotation. First man's in the corner. We have possession of the ball, and we're taking out of our corner. So here's what you need to do in this situation. You're following fine here. I like that you still swing through front post, but you don't need to stop here. You need to do one of two things. This is where your prediction of where the ball's going to go comes into account. The main thing that I think you should do in this situation is drift with him. You need to support Colin in this. So you need to start pushing up about here, like looking this way, as Colin's going forward. And you need to be like here in case Colin wins that 50 forward a little bit and you're there to take it up. And so this guy doesn't get a free ball rolling towards him. You need to be there to cut off any sort of like mid pass that's coming up. That's your job because any shot that could go on goal from there, you have Sean back post and he can block that. So your responsibility is to push up and support Colin as he's coming out of the corner. So instead, you just kind of sit here and like you slow down the play. And I mean, Sean has that covered. Like you're not covering anything. The only thing you might be covering is if it goes in the corner. So that's why I said you need to read where the play is going, because in this position, most of the time you'll push forward. In this case specifically, I think you should push forward because it looks like Colin's going to be able to get that under control and take a 50. The other situation is where it looks like Colin's going to get dunked and you think he's going to get dunked hard. Then your other thing you want to do is drive to the backboard and cover from up here. If it looks like they're going to take a possession or try to put one hard off the backboard, then you catch it and you can do whatever from there. Because right now you kind of just end up floating here, like right here. And if the ball was to come hard at the backboard, which it looks like that's probably the only option you'd be covering, you'd be really awkward at doing it. So just hard read one of those positions instead of trying to do it all. This is fine. And then the same thing happens here, basically. But you see that Sean is able to fully get up the wall. So now you start actually supporting him. You can do the same thing even if a 50 is going to happen on the ground. So you do it correctly here. But here, well, I don't know why I looked up. Here, once that ball goes over your head and you see the pass isn't there, you should look to see where Colin is real quick before you decide to go for this. Because this should be Colin's ball for sure. He has a way better angle at this. And what you should do is just rotate back post. But you kind of cut him off there. Now he's awkward. You didn't even get the read because it was way harder for you. Colin would have had it. Luckily, he rotated off because he saw you. I mean, I'm not going to be too picky, but just be careful of like the touch. I like that you tried to take a soft touch and possess it. One thing you could do is just not even touch it. You could just jump and then like kind of backflip and boost down, or just like tilt down by pressing up on the stick. The other thing you could do is if you saved your jump, you could do the thing where you like jump, turn upside down, use your double jump to go back to the ground. Um, but you like instant fast aerialed without getting a read on the situation. The other thing you could do is you have full boost and free ball here. Like just trust yourself to air dribble it to the corner and take a 50 or try to go for something crazy. Like it's fine because that touch is a little bit too hard. Luckily you get to beat there. So it turns out to be like okay, but I think you could have done something better. And that was good rotation there. Sean scores. Yeah, it looked like it was going to hit the ceiling. I don't blame you for going for that. It was just a misread. Probably could have grabbed pads during this rotation. I like that you were there just in case that 50 down middle. You got in a good position there. Nice. I like that you went early. Shut it down. You had your team behind you. That was all really good. You can maybe push yourself to not be on car cam this long. You already flip and you're going directly at it. You could flip back to ball cam right now. We could have done a little bit sooner just to get a better read on the situation. Oh, we end up scoring here because they just missed the save. Yeah, I remember watching this before. So you like kind of had the read that they were going to have to save it across, but like the touch you got didn't do anything. When you read that they're going to have to save it across, you want to put yourself in a better position to have a better angle of attack. So like right here, look where your car is. Now imagine if you would have just used a little bit more boost or read this a little bit sooner and gone a little bit wider and been angled at the ball here. Look how much of a better position this would have been, even if you were further back. Even if you were like way over here on the wall still, they would have hit it to you. I mean, that guy might have popped it back middle, but that's fine for us. If you were here, you would have way better angle on this ball. You'd be challenging it towards the net. Maybe you can hit it off the backboard. Maybe if you got there faster, you could have hit it under him, scored it. It just would have been way better to be here rather than here. So let's watch it again from your position. Like this whole time you could have been swinging out and boosting, just more speed. And then also in your touch, I know I came a little fast, but you maybe could have tried to like catch it and rolled up the wall. Once you jump, you commit, you're out of the play. Good recovery though. And then when I saw that play happen right there, this is when I knew that I needed to pause it and watch and record a replay review. You need to be thinking right here, what is the possible outcome of this play? This is what we talked about, where I want you to be faster. And I know we talked about that after this game, I'm pretty sure. But this is a prime example of this. So you need to be thinking, what could happen? Right now, your positioning is great because there's a chance Colin could have decided to pass it middle, and so that would have been great. He didn't pass it middle. So now that this happens, your job is to play rebound. You have to wait for the 50. So once that touch happens, by now you should have slammed on your brakes. This ball is going to go slow. They're going to 50 it. And if they don't 50 it, the other thing that happens is King Bison booms it back to your side. If that happens, it's Sean's ball. Right now, you are covering the 50. And you already started turning back before the 50 even had a chance to happen. If you would have slammed your brakes, at this point, you should be here, going slowly. And look at that. You probably would have had a goal, or you might have 50 this guy. This guy came in pretty quick. But there's a pretty good chance you would have had an open goal right there. But you did turn back before the play even did anything. You covered none of the possible options that realistically would have happened. Okay, so now the rest of this I haven't seen too much of. Mostly just wanted to talk about that. Oh, I did see this happen. Respect for the rule one. But, unfortunately. Hey, go get boost. This is all chilling. That's fine. Sean should have a free ball now. You swing back post, you gotta go back post here. You gotta go back post here. Sean's so awkward now. If you would have gone here, Sean would be able to go forward and attack this play. You cut him off so bad right there. And now, like, what are you gonna do with this ball? Oh, you somehow dime up Sean. Like, I don't know. That wasn't the right play. The right play was to go back post. Just let Sean do his thing. I like that you're waiting here now. See, okay, let me explain why it's okay to wait front post this time. And the reason is because Colin doesn't have possession of the ball yet, and the ball's not moving along the sidewall. When the ball starts moving along the sidewall, that's when you start pushing out. And you also don't know if that Sean's right behind you, which in this case he's not. He's still rotating back. If Sean were back post, like already, then you can maybe start pushing up, being a little aggressive, trying to get a read to keep the flow of rotations going. But because this ball is very likely to 50 from that corner towards you, that's why you want to be here. And you are. You are in the right place, and you make the save because of it. So nice, good stuff. Yeah, you jumped a little late on that. Might not have known if it was your turn for sure or not. I like that you're still in the play. You're still passing back. It didn't work out, but I like that you didn't just give up. Good patience here. I don't know if you really had to push up on this. You see that Sean's going in that direction. The other thing you could do is to just kind of drive back, be the new back post. And then you'd be here. And now look how smooth the rotation would have been if you would have been in goal right now. We would have had Sean on ball, one person getting boost back post, and you would have been a good second man. But now we're broken down because you choose to go for this ball when you got there at the same time as Sean. And luckily you get a beat, but I don't know if that was guaranteed to be a beat. I think the opponents played a little slow. I like this. That's fine. He would have beat you to that ball, so you had to pre-flip it. You probably heard me get an email right there. Love to hear it. Let me look at this again. I think here, you're not going to be able to shoot this from this angle. Like, look at where your car is pointing. And you don't have speed or power. If you try to put this on net, they get a free possession. It's not actually a shot from here. So you should have done, this guy is boosting back to cover net, because net is open, but you just can't put it on net from there. Just take a slow touch off the wall, or hit it hard off the corner and bounce it back. Sean wouldn't have been there, but that's an idea. I mean, honestly, if you bounce it off the corner, bounce it back, Colin might be able to turn and shoot it. You just don't want to take that touch. Go back post, nice. That's fine. You didn't have a lot of boost. But your pathing was good. So this is another time, like, right now, I can tell because I do this too sometimes. You have no boost, you're watching. You're watching Colin like, oh yeah, I know Colin's gonna ball this guy. But what option are you playing for? And what needs to happen in order for this ball to get to you where you are right now? I guess the way that the ball could get to you right now is if Colin took a low 50 and the ball just like stalled right here, then you'd be there for cleanup. So I guess that's one thing you could be covering, or maybe the ball shooting to the corner. I guess you could be covering, but more realistically, I just think you need to back up and be able and give yourself time to react to the 50. So that's fine. I would turn in right here on this pad and I would slam on my brakes rather than you're already turning away from the play by the time that this happens. But if you were right here, you would have been actually covering the 50. Right now, you're kind of half covering the 50. You didn't commit to what you want to cover. And then if it didn't come, I mean, you might have got demoed for that, but whatever. Then you'd rotate out. Don't like you're. Okay, so here you're trying to be a step ahead of the play, but Sean still has the ball. Sometimes when you can't be a step ahead of the play, just get out and be back post. Here, you should have rotated to the new back post and been out here. Now you're in the same position as Colin and Sean's on the ball. Like, you're just awkward now. Look at that. You did this. You jumbled all three of us in the corner. This is so horrible and awkward. When you should have just rotated out, gone back post. Now look how much better this would be where Colin is the one supporting him and you're back post. You probably just didn't need to boom it. The better play here would be Colin keeps, like here you could have called, back to you Colin. Colin keeps going forward and you just touch it back to him and then he booms because he can put it on net. Have a much more threatening thing. And if he doesn't touch it, he can just let it go up the wall, you just follow it again. I like that you're going for demos, that's huge, didn't get him, but whatever. It's good. And Sean probably should have let you have that, but whatever. Here, you need to think about like what you're covering. So what you're covering is Colin booming this across to you, but you need to see, oh, Sean's got that covered. Okay, no one's covering net. It's your turn to rotate out. Sean can't see you here. You can see him. Just rotate out. That ball's not coming to you in a million years, and if it does, Sean's going to be the one to go for it. And you should not have rotated this way. You should have rotated away from the play this way. And you should be like pointing towards the net right now at this point. Just in case one of them read that pass and they intercepted it, you'd be there to cover a shot and you'd be there to follow up right now. Now let's see what actually did end up happening. Sean gets a really weird touch that somehow you actually are able to follow up on. Worked out kind of, but not the proper response there. Nice. Good possessive touch. I don't really like the second touch. I think you need to hit this hard off the backboard. You need to beat this guy. This is the guy you're trying to beat right now. And look how soft your touch is and how high up you hit it. Like you stopped boosting at the point of contact as if you're trying to air dribble. And you want to just make your hard touch there. But careful about the way you commit to demos. It's fine that you're going for this. You don't have a lot of boosts. You never want to commit to a demo so hard unless you know there is a shot coming into net right now. And that is not the case at this moment. Then you can maybe commit really hard. Just drive at this guy, try to bump him. Even if you get a slight bump, make him jump, that's fine. You don't have the boost to commit. Or swing through this way and then flip out. You cannot afford to hit this bar like you did. Especially at 0 boost. Now Sean couldn't do anything because you were in the net. If you flip through to the boost, Sean might have been able to go for that. This is good. You're seeing how it goes. Oh my, you did not have to pre-jump like that. King Bison hits this 9 times out of 10. So just wait to see if he hits it. And if he doesn't, nobody else is going to be expecting either. Just keep driving forward and covering it. You don't have to jump from here. And you don't even get the jump because you're trying to pre-jump his touch. If you were just playing that he misses the ball completely, then how come you don't hit the ball? Because if it's your training pack and those cars didn't exist, you'd hit it every time. You just pre-jumped so hard for no reason. Lucky Colin was there. That's one way you could have done it. If it were me, I think I would have just boosted. He got to this backboard as fast as I can. Because if you're here now, this isn't that hard to read. If you're already on the backboard. Now you can jump off and you could boom it. You can maybe even pass it to Colin if you're already on the backboard. But you waited here instead and just chose to go a little slower and made it way more awkward for yourself. Good touch there. I mean, still could have been better, but good stuff. Oh, the game's basically over, so. Because it doesn't really matter what happens for the rest of the game. Oh, Colin going for flip resets? Okay. Oh, you guys score here, apparently. Oh, they kind of own goal after that. Okay, yeah. It doesn't really matter what happens for the rest of the game. So basically, yeah, that's it. I just wanted to point out those few things.